Hi everyone, welcome back to part 50 of my TemTem playthrough. Last episode we went ahead and started exploring the sewers of Proper Town. I believe we had explored about halfway of the sewers and we do have to complete the rest today. I'm pretty excited as I was finally able to find my final team member or final two team members. The one I actually did trade from the training center and the other one I was able to find in the sewers. Either way, it's gonna be a pretty fun journey as I'm gonna have two different TemTems to add to my team. Now as usual, here is my team of 5. If you might know, I'm actually trying to remove Gazuma from the team. But I did actually find Arknight, which is my final team member, through trading. It's right now a egg, but it took me around 45 minutes to actually hatch it. All you have to do is play the game as normal for 45 minutes or just keep it running for 45 minutes in the side and the egg will hatch automatically. Now you might see that in the video I'm jumping around a bit, but I was finally able to find my 6th team member here. It has hatched and it is right here. Unfortunately, the only disadvantage here is that it is at level 1. So I do have to level it up offline to at least have it around the same level as my team members. It also took me around 45 minutes to find this Garunder here. I'm not really sure if it has the thick skin trait, which is actually something that I'm looking out for. If it doesn't, it's still pretty fine. But if it does, it's really helpful as that trait actually eliminates a type weakness that I do have for probably electric type. So I'm hoping for it. But here it is, it's at level 70. I definitely have to level this one up as well. But I think it's much easier to level up a level 70 TemTem than a one that's actually from level 1. But here we have it. It's part toxic and electric. That is the main reason why I chose it to my team. I did decide to go ahead and remove Gazuma, so this will be pretty interesting. Now that I do have it, I decided to come back. Here is Gazuma. I am so sad to actually keep it in the box. It's at level 85. I would say Gazuma is a pretty good electric type team member. If I did not actually add Saku, I might have kept Gazuma in my team. But I really like Saku, so I'm just going to keep it over there. Here's Arknight once more. I do have to equip it the Cowardly Cloak. This will actually help it level up as soon as possible. As for Grunder, I'm just going to equip the Rock Shield, which will actually decrease the damage of crystal type moves, which is actually super effective against Garunder. By the way, you do have to find 2 Garunders if you're planning to kind of add one to your team. The main reason for this is that there is a quest which requires you to give away a Garunder to a NPC to complete. I think that quest is quite important, so I would definitely recommend trying to catch a second one. Unfortunately, mine one here has brumation, which I think is still pretty fine. I mean, it's certainly not the trait I was going for, but I will take it. I mean, I found only one after running for 45 minutes. So I'm guessing it's either my luck is so bad that I couldn't encounter it, or it's just that I did not really take too much time to finding one. Either way, we are back in the sewer. Here we are. I believe we had gone to the left path yesterday, so we are just gonna go ahead and head straight forward. We have already explored 50% of the sewer. All we have to do is move through the north and then through the east of the sewer and try to get to the secret lab of Belsoto clan. I really wonder what they actually do over here. We also got a news that Nala, the last Arc Tamer, is actually held here. Hopefully we'll be able to rescue her as well. Now here's a Tamer with a pretty high level Raycan. I'm definitely gonna try my best to take it down. A level 96 one is definitely pretty difficult. I've also kind of been doing a bit more research on what I would have to kind of expect when I do get to the end of the storyline. And I have heard that the final boss battle is gonna be pretty tough. But let's see how that goes. Since I did actually equip the Cowardly Cloak on Arknight, it is leveling up super fast. This is pretty helpful. It will reduce a bit of me running around and trying to level it up around the region here. That is one thing I have not done till now. Maybe a little bit for Oshukai, back when I actually caught it. But that was much easier as I was able to find a area which had TemTems that are actually weak to Oshukai's moves. Hopefully I'll be able to find the same for both Garunder here as well as Arknight. Moving forward, we pick up 2 new items. We have another, I don't think this is a tamer. Yep. Moving on, we have 2 more tamers here. Timmy and Sally. I think I might have heard about these 2 NPCs somewhere. But either way, we are just gonna go ahead and defeat them. They do have quite lower leveled TemTems, which is pretty good. And as you can see, Garunder itself is able to kind of stand up to most of these TemTems, which is kind of helpful. I'm able to level it up a bit more before the end of this episode. That way we will have it much easier when I'm trying to level it up offline. I also believe the pathway that is right before Proper Town is probably perfect for me to actually level up Garunder. It is after all a part electric type, and metal type TemTems here are actually weak to its moves. But there we go. We open up another hatch. I believe this one is the final one. It's another sewer plate which is much closer to the northern part of the city. Coming back down, we have a split in the pathway. I think that split was kind of a dead end, so we are just going to go ahead and move on. We have Reese over here who sadly lost a bet. Alright, I guess we are going to just defeat him once more. He does have a Taifu. I actually never realized this, but Taifu has a really good defense and special defense stat. And pairing up with its special trait, I believe it's one of the toughest TemTems that I've seen for quite some time. It definitely does hold its own in a battle. I really wish I had known this before. If that was the case, I might have just switched in Saku with Taifu. Having an Acer type TemTem is pretty good in this game. Unlike the grass type Pokemons back in Pokemon games, where I don't really find them that useful to be added to the team. But of course, here it's the complete opposite. Either way, we are able to defeat him. I'm actually quite happy that I was able to add Garunder into my team. I'm hoping that it will actually be very helpful in the future battles as well. I think its typing is pretty interesting. Electric and toxic typing can sometimes bring in more weakness, but it does have a really good attack stat. So if you're going for something that is super fast and is able to take down its opponents, I think Garunder is the way to go. Of course, its defense is not that great, which is something I'm a bit worried about, but I'm hoping that the different candies that are actually available in this game will actually help me increase the TV for those stats. Here's the next tamer. He has a Oshukai and a Golzi. I'm hoping to take down the Golzi first. Apparently it did massive damage on my Saku. Thankfully my Saku actually survived and took down the Oshukai. The levels of the TemTems are pretty high at this point. I really am wondering if the boss battle will be around level 100. I won't really try to keep my TemTems at level 100, but if I have to, then I might have to be a bit more careful with the SVs and TVs that are being added to my TemTems at this point. Moving forward, we come back to where we began. I believe at the end here is the next sewer entrance. Unfortunately, it is blocked, so we won't be able to get out from there. Before that, we do have to defeat this professor here. He has a Lurelei. I think Lurelei is pretty powerful as well. Although its typing is not something I would like. I think it's almost similar to Saku. Platimos is definitely pretty powerful. Hopefully Garunder will be able to take it down. Unfortunately, the Tesla Prism did absolutely nothing. Alright, let me just try focusing with Nikais. Unfortunately, it goes down as well. I think Prison Trap is a pretty interesting move. It not only deals more damage but also traps your TemTems. I would definitely recommend having these kind of moves in your moveset. That will actually stop some of the boss battles from being too tough. Alright, up next we have Monko. I believe Monko is part electric. I have yet to catch one, so I won't be able to for sure talk about that. But hopefully we will be able to find one or level one up from my own box. In this case, alright, we are leveling up pretty well. All of my other team members are at level 86, which I think is pretty good for now. I've been trying to keep all of my team members in a even level to have a kind of balance, but I'm not really sure how long that will be possible. Up next, I decided to bring out Saku. Wonder if this will actually work out. Alright, Toxic Fang doesn't work either. I wonder if I'll be able to just revive another team. Using event type move. There we go. Alright, I think I might have to go back to the charts on what typing is effective against what. That's something I think I'm lacking right now. Either way, after hitting up my team, we move on forward. We're almost there. Just under 4 more tamers left. Picking up all of the items. I'm just making sure that I don't have to come back here in the future. Here we have 2 more Belsoto clan team members. These ones I believe are going to be pretty powerful. They start with Isaku and Kepper. I'm not too worried. I think we'll be pretty fine. After all, Oshukai will be able to use Rockfall in the next turn, and that should do more damage. As for Grunder, I'm hoping that I'll be able to take down Saku with Noxious Bomb. That's pretty good. Using Rockfall, we are able to take down at least one of the TemTems. And Saku goes down as well. Pretty good. Up next, we have Mix and Piranant. I must say the TemTem names in this game is pretty weird, and I'm still kind of getting used to it even though we are almost at the end of the game. The storyline till now has been pretty interesting. I would say that it was kind of bland back in Dennis, and Nanga was kind of stalling. But we certainly had the storyline kind of ramp up after Tukma, which was pretty nice to see. There's still a couple of places that I have yet to explore. Obviously, we have Anak Volcano, which I actually skipped. It's a optional place which you can just go back to at some point to level up your team members. Other than that, we have a couple of side quests, especially the side quest with the priest back in Sipanku. We have a pretty huge one over there where we'll get to kind of explore another dimension, which I think is pretty interesting. I will go through it at some point. Now this pathway I'm taking right here is actually a dead end, but we do have around 2 items and a couple of stickers to pick up over here. So I'm just gonna go through it before entering the lab. Now this tamer has a Hazrat of level 95. Pretty tough. I wonder why these tamers are actually not dojo masters, considering that they could have defeated the dojos pretty easily. After all, they do have pretty high level TemTem. I guess they would need another 2 of them. When it comes to a team, at least 3 TemTems are needed. But of course, these tamers are pretty powerful. We have one more over here. Mudluck. Let's quickly defeat him as well. He has a Towley. Alright. Only one TemTem at level 60 should be able to defeat him pretty easily. There we go. I think Towley is pretty cute. There are a couple of pre-evolutions that we are yet to see. Towley is definitely one of them that we were able to catch. Picking up the sticker, we have 2 more tamers here. These are Belsoto clan team members. I really wonder what they might have told to recruit so many people into the clan. After all, they must be something that is really good for these people to kind of join it. Either way, for Amphitter, I should have just switched into Antan. Or I guess the toxic moves will work as well. Thankfully, Karundar actually proves itself. I'm quite happy that I was able to add this one to my team. My only regret is that I wish it was available way before this. Maybe in the beginning of Aubrey or at least in Sipanku. That would have made it much more helpful. But now that we have it here, I'm just gonna try and level it up. I'm pretty sure there are a couple of other TemTems that are quite powerful and a really good addition to our team. The only fact is that they are kind of late in the game, so it makes it a bit rarer. Now, of course, if you are able to actually find them early in the game through the trading center, which I think the earliest you'll be able to find them is in Tupma, go ahead and just buy them. I'm pretty sure some of these TemTems are pretty high. I believe I saw a Karundar for 41,000, which I think is pretty high for it. But it is actually quite helpful if you do have some of these TemTems early on. But here we get 2 more items, full revives, which I think is pretty helpful. Moving through the correct path, we have one last tamer here, a Belsoto clan lab scientist. Interesting to see one here ready to actually battle us. But of course, he has a Zobin. I am kind of tired of seeing Zobins. There are a lot of them in this game, especially after I came to Sipanku. I think this one is at least the 15th one that I'm seeing on a tamer. I don't think this is the last time I'll be seeing a Zobin. I'm pretty sure more people are gonna just have this one. It's annoying, but thankfully I'll be able to take it down. Of course, I do need a water type TemTem or a digital type TemTem. If you do have one in your team, that one is super effective as well. In my case, I just decided to switch into Antan. I definitely have to go back and heal up my team before moving on, just to be in the safe zone, considering that we do have a lab to explore. But there we go. Alright. I think that is everything here in the sewer. We have cleared up everything except the lab itself. Let's quickly go ahead and enter it. Here we are. We get a cutscene. Unfortunately, there is no one here. They have actually moved out all of the equipments and left some of them. We do have Max and Carlos actually coming in. Sadly, it seems that Percival, who's actually the dojo master here, had absolutely no idea on all of this. But inadvertently, he was actually helping the Bel Soto clan because nobody really enters the sewers anyway. The tough thing here is that we have to definitely try and get some proof. We might be able to find something. We do find documents about Antan back in Anak volcano, as well as a terrarium that's quite huge for a TemTem. Once we explore this bench right here, we're able to actually see the details on Nala being kidnapped. Of course, it was Max who helped that happen. But I think the big revolution here is that we find a letter from Professor Konstantinos here. It seems that he was the one who was the leader of Bel Soto clan. This is definitely pretty interesting and not something I was expecting. We did have him in the, I believe, the Congress meeting. So it's pretty surprising to see that he is the villain. Pretty sad as well. Unfortunately, he fooled Max, he fooled a lot of people. He is trying to do something that we are yet to see. I wonder if it's actually quite huge, considering that he is the one who is talking more on the digital TemTems. We know that Dr. Hamijo was actually working on Antan, but they did have something else that they were working on, which we get a glimpse of right here. It's a progress report from Dr. Hamijo on Project Mega Z. I wonder what its full name is. Hopefully we get more details on it in the future. For now, that is all on the exploration for sewers or proper town. I'm pretty happy with this, but I will go ahead and end out this episode pretty soon. I think this is a really good point for me to stop the episode, considering that I have 2 new TemTems. I definitely would want to level them up as much as possible, which is what I will try after this. In the next episode, we will be actually heading out through here. Now we do get a cutscene which actually shows Arya coming up. Apparently the flying castle has finally crashed and we see someone here we know. Yep, it is Lady Lottie and she is done with Bel Soto clan. She just says that her lord has actually occupied her ancestral house, which is a castle. I believe we have actually seen it right next to the lake in Lodgeburg. She's also pretty unhappy with the lord, who, by the way, we already know is Konstantinos. She says that he is acting up and is trying to look like he's the king. She's pretty mad about it and does say that she's gonna help us bring him down, which is good. Of course, Audio here tries to kind of threaten her, but we do know that she'll be able to help us considering that it is her castle. She did actually talk about a secret entrance, which is how we will be entering the castle itself. If you remember, we did try to enter the castle before, but the front gates were locked, so we do have to go through the secret entrance. We are of course tasked on going forward and seeing where the castle has crashed. This is the flying castle and hopefully I'll be able to explore it in the next episode. As you can see, it's a pretty huge pathway and I'm actually excited for this. Here's my team right now. Hopefully I will at least level up Garunder up to all my other team members and at some point try to level up Arknight as well. I'm super excited. Hope you all enjoyed this episode as much as I did. If you did, please put a like, and if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing to my channel as it really helps me a lot. If you'd like to support me more, check out the links down in my description for Patreon and Ko-fi. But I'll see you all in the next one.